Page 11. So we finished off with multiplying. Now let's go into dividing. Now, when we get to unit 3, we're going to be doing a lot more with division. Okay? But for right now, I just want you to at least be able to set it up. So, if I divide f of x by g of x, the way I would set it up is I would have 3x plus 2 over x squared minus 2x plus 10. Now, we can just stop there for now. When we get further on in Math 3, we will actually learn what to do with this, but I don't want to jump the gun yet. All right? Because you won't really see this much on this test anyway. I just have to bring it up. So that's how you would set it up. Just 3x plus 2 over x squared minus 2x plus 10. Now, as it would have it, this fraction is actually in its most simplified form. We'll learn what happens when it's not way in unit 4. All right, when we do rational functions. All right, but for right now, and we'll also do some polynomial division in unit 3. But for right now, we're just going to put a pin in that, and we'll talk about that way later down the road. All right. The last one is scalar multiplication. Now, what is a scalar? A scalar is a constant being multiplied to a function. So the easiest way I can think about it is that it is what you're distributing. All right, so you know how you see distribute problems where you have to distribute the number? That's what a scalar is. It's that number that you're actually distributing. So, for example, an a in this case is the scalar, and that would be just a number. Now, for example, if I multiply a to f of x, so a times 3x plus 2. All you would do is just distribute. So this would be 3ax plus 2a. And that would be all you do. Now, for something a little bit more concrete, let's say a was equal to -2. All right. So we would set it up like -2 times 3x plus 2. And again, you would just distribute. So this would be -6, because -2 times 3x is -6x, minus -2 times 2 is 4. So scalar multiplication is literally just distributing, which you guys have been doing for a while. Distributing? That's what we just did. Now, another thing that you may see with function operations, so don't be thrown if you see this, is occasionally they may throw an evaluation at you. All right? My recommendation, when they throw an evaluation at you, do the evaluation of the individual functions before you do the operation. Because if you do the operation first, sometimes it's more work than it's actually worth. But as soon as you do the evaluation, you're just playing with numbers. All right? So whenever you're evaluating, do the evaluation before the operation. So, for example, for number 1, we are technically doing f minus g of -3. So what's another way we can write that without not using the actual functions yet? But if I write in terms of f of x and g of x, how can I rewrite that? So f of -3 minus what? g of negative 3. So my recommendation, find what these values are first, then subtract them. All right, it'll save you a lot of heartache in the long run. So I'm going to find what f of negative 3 is first and what g of negative 3 is. Who remembers what we do with evaluations? What do I do with that negative 3? We talked about this like the first day of class. We replace what? All right, we replace x with that number and do PEMDAS. All right. So for f of x, it's 3x plus 2. So this would be 3 times negative 3 plus 2. So what's 3 times negative 3? Plus 2? Negative 7. So f of negative 3 is negative 7. G of negative 3, we would do negative 3 squared. By the way, if you put a negative in a calculator and you're squaring it, make sure you got parentheses around it. Otherwise, your calculator will read it as 3 squared times negative 1. So if you get a negative number when you're squaring a number, it's wrong. All right? Remember, squaring a number is always going to make it positive because a negative times a negative is still a positive. All right? So negative 3 squared plus 2 times, is it plus or minus? I think it's minus. It's minus. Minus 2 times negative 3 plus 10. What's negative 3 squared? 9. What's negative 2 times negative 3? Positive 6. And then we bring down the plus 10. 9 plus 6 is 15. Plus 10, that's 25. So what I'm then going to do is take these two numbers and plug them back in to their respective spots and do the operation. So I'm doing f of negative 3 minus g of negative 3. So I'm going to do negative 7, which is what f of negative 3 is equal to. And g of negative 3 minus 25. So what would that be? In other words, you're just adding 7 and 25 and throwing a negative on it. It'd be negative 32. And that's your answer. So you don't actually get a function for those. You get a number. Because you're evaluating. So remember, when you evaluate, you're getting a number. Now, could we have done the operation first? Because technically we already did f minus g. So we could have also used what we got up here and plugged in the negative 3. That's another way you could have done it. All right, you would have gotten the exact same thing. The struggle with that is a lot of times the operation, like doing the operation algebraically, there's more room for error there than actually plugging the number into the original functions first, then doing the operation. All right. So you could do the operation first. I just highly recommend you evaluate first. All right. Let's try this next one. So we're doing f times g of 7. So if I rewrite that, it would be f of 7 times g of 7. So take a minute on your own and find out what f of 7 is and what g of 7 is. So plug in 7 into g of x and f of x and get those two numbers. If you need a calculator, you're welcome to grab it. So you don't need to do the operation yet. I just want you to get f of 7 and g of 7. That's it. Thumbs up if you have f of 7. Yeah, we can have a minute. All right. So let us go with Anna. What'd you get for f of 7? Okay. So let's
How do you
plug it in. Okay. Let's talk about it. All right. F of x from up top, because we're still using that same f of x, is 3x plus 2. So f of negative 3, notice how the negative 3 is replacing the x. So that's exactly what you would do here. So you do 3. I don't know why I said negative 3 should be 7. But, so it'd be 3 times 7, because remember they're right next to each other's multiplication, and then you add 2.
Oh, I just didn't know what we were using, the thing we were using, 3x plus 2. That's what I didn't know.
Yeah, we're still using the ones from up top.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so what would you get if you did that? 24. 23. Yes. So f of x is 23. Anna, pick someone and tell me what g of 7 is. Alright, so David, what's g of 7? Good. So that's exactly what I got for both of them. I got 23 and 45. Then last step, we just got to do the operation. So I'm going to do 23 times 45. So can someone put that in their calculator and tell me what you get? 1,035? Okay. Good. How are we feeling on this? Not too bad? Or is it kind of eh? All right. Try number 3 on your own. So, just to set it up, you're doing f of 4 divided by g of 4. So start by finding f of 4 and g of 4 first, then divide the two numbers. All right, so I'll give you a couple minutes. And again, we're using the functions from up top. So the ones that are like way up here, same functions. Those are the ones we're using. Sorry if I didn't make that one clear. Hey guys, if you want a calculator, because a lot of these you don't have to do by hand. Use a calculator.
semester started. I have second. Yeah, they changed it last minute. Like I found out like 2 days before the semester started. Yeah, I have Miss Davidson. Possibly. I don't. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I can figure something out. Okay. Bye.
So guys, while you're doing this, if you want a calculator, I don't care if you grab one. Yeah, calculators on the EOC, so I don't.
Is it just like a
Elephants up hills.
This is the only thing you can advertise in the friends, so you can't advertise it on like social media. You probably could. Maybe if you paid him the Super Bowl. We also have Kanye's Super Bowl.
Dude, did you see me apologize for all the anti-Semitic things he did? Yes. I'm very sorry. This is the new
He's out Kanye East.
Kanye, who was next to me. No, new reasons why.
Yeah, that's if he starts flying the Southwest.
What about Kanye North?
Because I'm like severe. I love flying the Southwest. Jake. What?
Jake, shut your mouth.
Every time I fly the Southwest, I take a nap. Every time I fly the Southwest, their landing manages to wake me up. Pretty much.
You wake up the same.
Not even kidding. To and from. It was just. Thank you for this.
Why is he really excited? You know Dylan?
All right. Yeah, I'll show you guys what to do with that in just a second. All right, so Let us go with Lanaya. What did you get for f of 4? So just f of 4. What was the number that you got? Good. All right, pick someone and tell me what they got for g of 7. Or g of 4, sorry, not g of 7 more. Good. So if we divide them, we get 14 out of 18. Now, a lot of you were asking me, well, what do I do? Because if I put this in the calculator, I'm going to get a decimal. I want a simplified fraction. So, little calculator skill. So everyone look up here. If you don't know how to simplify the fraction, even though that one's a pretty simple simplification, all right? If you don't know how to simplify your fraction, it will do it for you, either in Desmos or your calculator. But in your calculator, all you do is just do 14 divided by 18, get that decimal. Then you will hit the math key, which is the key directly below that green alpha key. When you do that, the screen will pop up. You guys see how it says fraction right here? Or frac or whatever? You're going to hit enter. All right. So you hit enter, and this will come up. And then you hit enter one more time. Your calculator will automatically simplify the fraction. So when they change the decimal to a fraction, it's automatically simplified. So 7/9 would be your final answer. All right. So if I ever say that I want it as a fraction and you get a decimal and you don't know how to convert it, that's how you can convert it. Put in your calculator, hit math, enter, enter. There you go. So this would be 7/9. Now, the last one has a little more oomph to it. All right. So I know you guys are good with plugging things in. So we're going to start by getting f of -5, g of -5 first. All right. Because this is essentially saying they want 2 times g of -5 plus 3 times f of -5. Let me explain how writing out math works, because this is a mistake I see a lot. Remember, this number on the outside, on the far right, it's always, if it has parentheses around it and it's on the far right, it's not multiplication, it's an evaluation. All right? The numbers that are multiplication are the ones in front of the actual function. All right? So a lot of times what I see is that people want to multiply 5 or -5 to the functions, but that's not correct. You're actually just plugging them in for x. So be very careful about that. It's all about how you write things down, the precision of it. In math, if you do multiplication, you're multiplying it to a function, you write it on the far left. All right? Whereas if you're evaluating, you write it on the far right in parentheses. So that's just how you read it. Now, very quickly, find g of -5 and f of -5 on your own. That's all I want you to find. Find g of -5 and f of -5. Don't do anything else.
You say 747. What? I'll start trying. Might be easy. Try.
So if the variables like
JJ,
Yeah, don't worry about that.
I love the knockoff. It's really what it is. Mark 7.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen. I would have still done it. I would have still done
Son, we're talking about you doing dude, Jane. You're lucky you're forcing me in there.
it. Give me some skin. Anyway,
If you're gonna change your life, you don't look like for God's sake.
Operation functions and
this is not useful.
You're gonna
You're gonna go to Walmart. They're gonna ask you what's the X of something.
you're gonna be like measuring groceries as you screw it.
We're gonna grow up to live in the universe of cyberpunk. What are you gonna do?
All right, my darlings. So, all right, so. Okay, so what'd you get for g of -5? Let's go with Dominic. So for g of -5, what'd you get? 45, good. What'd you get for f of -5? Let's go with Abigail. Say one more time. -13, good. Now, we're going to take these two numbers and plug them in for their spots respectively. So now this new operation is 2 times 45 plus 3 times -13. So these numbers right here, it just means that we're actually multiplying those numbers to the new numbers that we got after the evaluation. Remember those, so 2 and 3 are our scalars here. All right, they're a constant that we're multiplying to each function. But since we're doing the evaluation first, we just have to multiply them after we evaluate. So, does anyone know what 2 times 45 is? 90. Does anyone know what 3 times -13 is? -39. So we're technically doing 90 minus 39. So what do you get when you have 90 minus 39? 51. And that's our answer. So, why I'm taking the time to go through all this, all right? I can guarantee you will see at least one of these like this on your test. So, the steps for this is evaluate each function separately. So you're plugging that number in for x into both functions. Then do any operations that they have. So for example, for the one we just did, after we evaluate, we multiply whatever we got for g times 2. We multiply whatever we got for f times 3. And then we add them. All right, because that's PEMDAS. You do multiplication first, then you would do the addition. All right. For the one we did previously, once we got our 2 answers, we divided them. And if it's not a pretty number, just simplify the fraction. All right. Does everyone understand how to evaluate function operation? All right. So for the rest of class, you guys got a solid 40 minutes. There, you can now work on that 1.3 delta math. All right. If you finish early for whatever reason, you can either work on your journal or you can work on the optional work, which is page 10. Is it one more time? Sorry. No, it's okay. I'm deaf.
You'll set anywhere before now.
I'll just let you guys know.
Get on your iPad.
If you want to take this girl,
You heard it.
Yeah, I heard.
Am I right?
If we do look at stats. Right, we look at pick a difficulty, bro. Come on.
you know what? We're trying the bathroom train. I'll give you guys 3 minutes. You need to use the bathroom, go.
Yo, what? Why is
There it is. I'll give you guys 3 minutes. Be back in this room by 3 minutes. Do not wander the halls.
No, that was such a